Good morning to all. I will be restricting to posterior segment manifestation of blunt trauma. So I had no financial interest. So this is the classification showing the blunt trauma can cause both open globe and closed globe injury. So before labeling it as a closed globe injury like contusion, just perfectly rule out the rupture, because if once you label the closed globe injury, you will be doing a lot of manipulations, and if there is rupture, you are going to damage most of the posterior segment structures. So I just briefly go on the mechanism of the injuries, because this involves the cope and countercope injuries and ocular compression and expansion. The cope injury happens where at the site of the impact, and countercope injury happens at the site opposite to the impact. These two, and second mechanism is the ocular tissues because of the trauma. Along the direction of the trauma, there will be shortening and there will be expansion perpendicular to the direction of the trauma, which leads to the interface damages and ring structure damages. So these are all the posterior segment complications. Posterior dislocated lens are well dealt, and I am going to deal with these complications. So once you see the vitreous hemorrhage, again I will say rule out the open globe injury. This is very important. And then the second most important thing which we have to rule out is just rule out the retinal tears, which is going to have a visual thing. So you have to do the thorough indirect ophthalmoscope, and if the visibility is not permitting, you have to depend upon the ultrasound and look for the associated complications. Especially if the vitreous hemorrhage settles down, you have to do the repeated follow-ups till the vitreous hemorrhage clears and you see that there is nothing like dialysis and all. And the second most thing is like commotio retinae. The commotio retinae is just graying of the retina, and it is a Latin term for the retinal contusion. It is also named as Berlin's edema or concussion edema. It is a misnomer, but it's not truly the edema. And initially, Berlin's has described the cases where this vision returns to normal and the fundus will be normal without sequelae, but the commotio retinae involves vision may not return to normal level, and the fundus morphology is permanently affected. So on commotio retinae, you will see sometimes the cherry red spot, pseudo cherry red spot, what you see. And you have to differentiate between the CRAO in these cases. This sort of picture happens because of the very severe trauma cricket ball injuries, airbag injuries. So it is a misnomer, and it's like because of the extracellular edema. There is no extracellular edema. It is damage to the photoreceptors and nuclei, and the visual outcome depends upon associated sequelae like choroidal scar in the macula or traumatic macular holes. So the choroidal rupture mainly because of the two mechanisms: direct choroidal rupture or indirect choroidal rupture. The direct choroidal rupture occurs at the site of the trauma, and they are oriented parallel and usually anterior, and it is because of the compressive necrosis of the tissue. And indirect trauma occurs posteriorly, and they are concentric to the disc, and sometimes they can be multiple, and they can pass through the fovea where the vision is severely affected. And they have the subretinal hemorrhage, which can be dealt by pneumatic displacement, or sometimes they have the commotio retina and macular hole, which limit the visual outcomes in this. The important complication which can happen any time in the life, once the scar has formed, we have to look for this choroidal neovascular membrane, where the patient presents to you with a defective vision. We should warn the patient that any time they can develop this, and that vision may further worsen down. So when clinically you can see the hemorrhages, exudates and edema in the retina, and angiogram is confirmatory where you see the early hyperfluorescence which keeps on increasing. OCT is also confirmative, non-invasive, and you can follow here this shading, and can be treated with one Avastin. And the other options are like photodynamic therapy or transpupillary dermotherapy. And traumatic macular hole, you can see the traumatic macular hole can develop immediately after the trauma, or there can be like delayed development. So various mechanisms are proposed like contusion, necrosis, vitreous traction, subfoveal hemorrhage, or cystoid macular edema, which leads to, and OCT is the confirmative test, which can be dealt by the surgery, but the outcome of the surgery is not like idiopathic macular holes. Next is like retinal tears and dialysis, because this happens because of the equatorial expansion of the tissue leading to tractional forces. Main thing is vitreous base avulsion, retinal dialysis at the ora, and retinal tears at the posterior edge of the base. Tears can happen at abnormal vitreoretinal adhesions like chorioretinal scars or lattices. So this is the picture like dialysis, and this is the case where we have dialysis. Does not mean that we have to go for vitrectomy. We can do this is buccal height, and we can do the there is a bucket handle tear of the because retinal tears can happen anteriorly because of the direct trauma, because of the tissue necrosis, and temporal area is usually involved, and intraocular hemorrhages and large retinal tears will be present. So do not assume that the trauma produces tears immediately, or delayed tears can happen, which because of the tissue necrosis and cellular proliferation. So we need to follow these patients for a long time. So this is the retinal dialysis where the retina is separated from the non-pigmented epithelium or the ora. And the treatment, if the retina is not detached, you can go for cryopexy if the media is not permitting to do the laser photocoagulation is best. And the dialysis with the chorioretinal adhesions, here the case has presented to you very delayly. Already if adhesions are there, you can follow with observation only. So remember, the RD can happen many years or months later, and mainly the shallow RD. The children and may not tell about the trauma, and we tend to miss the dialysis. And if shallow and limited RD, if the vitreous detachment is not there, and we can easily pick up bullous vitreous detachments. So shallow retinal detachments we can confirm by ultrasound. So the treatment for the retinal dialysis is, because most of these patients are like young patients, children, segmental or circumferential buccal with cryo is preferred. Just a short video about the buccal. 360-degree peritomy will be done, conjunctival peritomy. After isolation of the muscles, just I put the 25 gauge chandeliers. This is like European or a technique, Egypt follow technique. With chandeliers, you don't need the indirect to visualize, and better teaching tool. Directly you can visualize the break with 20 diopter lens. That was the break, and it is marked externally, and buckling is done. We prefer the broad buckle like 286 or 276 buckles. So the partial thickness scleral bites are passed. 276 band is passed. Confirm the height to the chandeliers, and because this was very chronic RD in a child, I drained the subretinal fluid. So traumatic retinal tears without detachment, you can do the laser photocoagulation or cryopexy, but with detachment all needs the scleral buckling, vitrectomy or buccal vitrectomy. So this is I am showing a video which had like this patient had a traumatic macular hole with retinal detachment and peripheral PVR changes and tear. After that was a peripheral retinal tear. The PVR membranes are taken off with the PFCL is injected over the posterior pole to flatten it, and that stabilizes the posterior retina and allow further membrane peeling. The ILM is stained with BBG under PFCL, which is the stain takes up immediately. The ILM flap is lifted. So other injuries are like traumatic optic nerve avulsion and scleral rupture. Scleral rupture goes into open lobe injury, and traumatic optic nerve avulsion happens because of the increased intraocular pressure and intraorbital pressure. So the take-home message is, though the trauma is like one-time event, the sequelae are long time, and you need to follow the patients for a long time for complications like traumatic macular holes, choroidal neovascular membranes, glaucoma. Thank you.